Yes.
Pickla?
Yes.
Stecker? Yes. Ray?
Yes.
Bird?
Yes.
Okay, number 3, presentation of petitions and other communications. A, set a public hearing for February 19, 2018 at 6 p.m. for the consideration of fiscal year 2019 Boone Capital Improvement Plan CIP.
Second.
Call roll.
Stein?
Yes.
Hicks?
Yes.
Pickla?
Yes.
Stecker? Yes. Ray?
Yes.
Bird?
Yes.
McGinn?
Yes.
Okay, B, public hearing for the consideration of the rezoning of property at 1423 West Amy Eisenhower, Boone, Iowa, from R3 multifamily residential to A1 agriculture. Are there any written comments?
No.
Any public comments? If not, this public hearing is closed. C, public hearing for approving plans for bidding the Industrial Park Road paving replacement and resurfacing project. Any written comments? Any public comments? If not, this public hearing is closed. 4, report of standing committees. A, policy administration. BJ.
No report.
Public safety, Stephen.
No report.
Utility committee, Stephen.
No report.
Economic development committee, Greg.
No report.
Okay, number 5, department reports. Building official, Ed.
No report.
Finance officer, Andrea.
No report.
City attorney, Jim.
No report.
Director of public works.
Yes, Your Honor, sorry. FYI, today the Harold Pike Group got into the Public Works building. They're gonna start the remodel. We're trying to work out logistics so we can work out in the building and have the remodel going. And just want to give you a little background or what we do in a snow event like this. I know we got some new members up here who might not know. When we have a major snow event like this that snows all day, I send my guys out to do the snow routes, the major routes, so the major arteries, to keep them open. And so usually it's within 2 or 3 blocks of a residential road, like Green Street, 11th Street, Story Street, Division, Marion, those kinds of things. And then when it stops, we go back out. When it's all a timing thing, we go back out and hit everything else. So that's what we did all day today, was keeping Story Street and all those, the snow routes open. So just an FYI, I tell you people that's what we do all day, and then when it stops, we go hit everything else. So.
Did we ever hire that on-call?
Yes, we did.
We did?
Cameron Stevens, he should be here 6 or 6:30. He has another job in Ames, so
Sure.
when he's done, he comes over and helps us. He used to work for us, so he knows the equipment, he knows everything, so he will be one that helps us.
Sounds good.
So, any questions?
I have a neighbor up there, a mailbox got wiped out. And,
They said, we'll send it, have them call Julie at 432-4211, and we'll send her a claim form, and we pay $25 for those.
That's what I
Unfortunately, with this amount of snow and the heaviness of it,
Yeah.
sometimes we take them out, so just have them get a hold of us, we'll take
Okay.
care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. City engineer, Dan.
No report.
Okay, public safety, Chief Adams.
Yes, Your Honor. Tonight, in your packets, you have a response from Insurance Services Organization. We had our review last fall. It's probably been about, I think 1994 was the last review that we had. And for those of you that don't know what Insurance Services Organization does, is they go in and rate your fire departments, your building department, the water system in your town, the response of the fire department, the communication center, all those kind of things. Our previous years, we've been rated at a 6 or a 6Y. They keep changing a little bit of everything they do, but basically the insurance, or the ISO as they call it, insurance companies can call in when they're writing premiums for commercial buildings, homeowners insurance. Basically, it's how a lot of your premium is figured in. I shouldn't say a lot of it, but a majority of it is figured in. I believe the only major insurance company that doesn't use ISO is State Farm, and they have a system just like ISO. They just use it internally, and they do their own internal things. But after a review that we had, I'm happy to say that we dropped 3 rating points from a 6 to a 3. A lot of that reflects on a lot of things that council has done, whether it be in water distribution. That plays a major portion of ISO. Some of the things of keeping up on fire trucks, some of the things internally that we do as far as training, those kind of things. I just want to point out a couple of areas that as you look through there, you may see and wonder why. And in communications, the comm center does a really good job. One of the things that they don't have is they don't have a nationally recognized standard of how to answer fire calls. We do for medical calls, we use EMD. The problem is there's not a ton of fire calls in the county to justify the cost. I know when we did EMD, it was pretty costly to buy the program, if I remember right. And so, but one of the things that we're working with the communication center on is that we can develop our own set of protocols to help boost that score. But the reality is the communication center did well. A couple of things that in our department that a lot of it's just money driven is one of the big things that we scored well, but we didn't is facilities for training. But unless we're going to try to invest a couple $1 million into a training center, like a lot of the big metro area departments are, I'm willing to take that. We've worked on some scenarios where we can get some props in here to be able to boost that up. But overall, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I was pretty satisfied for them not being here since 1994 that we were able to drop 3 percentage points. That'll go into effect April 1st. And so we will be sending letters out here shortly to all the insurance companies in town and doing a media blitz, letting people know that they should check with their insurance providers because they should see a significant drop in insurance. So, any questions? All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Good job, Chief.
Okay, Chief Weebold.
No report, Your Honor.
City Administrator Bill.
Thank you, sir. I have several items this evening. My first one is a follow-up to the budget meeting on January 16th that council had. I appreciate the mayor allowing me to put this on the agenda. As you know, council voted to approve the budget that came with $36,000 cuts to the library. In addition, the police department was restored its 18th certified officer. Their authorized strength is 18. You guys restored that with the cuts from the library. After that meeting, I had occasion to meet with Chief Weebold about his budget. We looked at it, some line items where maybe we can make some adjustments. And I asked him if he could handle if we cut his budget or had less coming in of $11,000. In effect, what that would do is take the library budget cuts from 36 to 25. I would tell you that Chief Weebold was very helpful and willing to help out. He agreed to those cuts. I think we can make those cuts work with some adjustments in his budget. So what I'm asking tonight is would the council consider lowering the cuts to the library from 36,000 to 25? And if so, I would need a motion to do that, then I will prepare the budget as such. If council chooses not to do that, then we will proceed forward with the $36,000 cuts to the library for the budget for fiscal year 19.
Well, I certainly think if the chief's able to make it work, then we can reduce that burden on the library and we could move it.
Does that mean more parking tickets?
You want more parking tickets or don't want
No,
more parking?
no.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to accept the chief's willingness to do that and reduce the burden of the library to 25,000.
Second.
Call the roll.
Hicks,
Yes.
Tricklin,
Yes.
Stecker, yes, Ray,
Yes.
Bird,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Stein.
Yes.
Thank you for considering this. My second item is in this consent agenda is the 2080 agreement for the overpass. If you remember the last council meeting, council agreed to approve that project and moving forward with what our share of the funding would be for that project. Just that's in the 2080 agreement, or I'm sorry, that's in the consent agenda if anybody has any questions. Otherwise, that will approve the 2080. We will sign it and send it to the county for them to also approve it.
Motion approved.
Okay. My third one is South Story Street Banner Program. This is a program that Kurt is doing at the chamber. If you know, we have banners out there now for character counts. That program, I believe, has come and gone. Is that correct, Kurt? Yeah. And so he is going to start a new program, which I think is a great idea, but the reason I'm bringing it to you here is it's going to require some time for Public Works in the spring and I think in the fall. Put them up in the spring, take them down in the fall. So I wanna make sure you guys are okay with that, because that does take time away from Public Works doing their other duties, so that's the reason I have it on the agenda. I don't know that I need a motion, other than if there's any objections, I'll hear them, otherwise we will, help out the chamber on this program. Okay, I'll move on. Fourth item is Boone Area's main site contract for fiscal year 2019. That's in the consent agenda. That comes with a 2% increase, which is, in past years, it's always been what the raise was for employees, so it's 2%. The only other change is in some of the individual charges, there were some minor adjustments. I discussed that with Andrea, and we feel that's not gonna impact the budget, so we thought those were reasonable, so those are in there too. Otherwise, the contract's the same. So that's in the consent agenda, do not need a motion, but if you have any questions. Okay, number 5, discuss approve donating old phones from the Family Resource Center to the Boone County Y. I was approached by Vicky from the Y. Their phone system is in really bad shape. As you know, we replaced new phone systems this fiscal year at all city buildings. That includes FRC. I have retrieved those phones from FRC, and they are downstairs. I think it's a good thing for us to donate these phones to help out the Y any way we can. Other options are we could try to sell them. I honestly don't believe that they're worth very much to sell them, and I think it's important to help out the Y. There is a resolution approving that in the consent agenda. Do not need a motion. Just I'll answer any questions if you have any.
Great idea.
Okay, number 6, review job description for the maintenance position. The position was approved, a maintenance job description was created. I'll answer any questions you have, I don't need a vote on it. It's in the, like I said, it's in the packet. If you, council has any questions for me on that, or if you read it and you'd like to make some suggestions, please email those to me, and we can look at doing those changes. And then I'd bring that back to council, obviously.
So, on this, we're not looking at having this person have to be licensed at this point for electrical, anything like that, HVAC certification.
It's in there that they have experience with
It's
it.
just experience.
Yes, HVAC experience. I think it's, let me get it to it here.
Usually if you have HVAC, usually you're licensed, or not licensed, but you do electrical at the HV. He wouldn't be doing any major projects, would he, Bill?
Like,
Right.
You know,
so, I have a question on the starting salary for this at $50,000. How does that compare to other, starting salaries around the city, say, police, fire, public works, and things like that?
Again, it was budgeted up to 50,000. That doesn't mean the salary's going to be 50,000. I had to make sure that I had enough in there to get a qualified applicant, or at least to draw a qualified pool of applicants. I think the starting, for example, for police, I think, is 44,000, 45,000, plus holiday pay, which adds another 1,500 to it, somewhere around there.
Okay. Yeah, I just, with the qualifications and the job description, I just think that 50,000 is a little bit high.
Sure, and again, our goal here, at least in my opinion, you can tell me if you want me to change it, is that we get a qualified person for this that has experience in those areas. I've talked with Ed about it, what he thinks is important in this, as the building official, and this is what we came up with. The job description has been put through legal, and Jim has approved it.
to get somebody that's experienced in HVAC, those guys are making anywhere from 22 to 28 bucks an hour if they're good. Depends on where they work. What I think will attract a lot of people is the benefits that city has to offer to them. Where if you work out, let's say you're working for ACI or somebody like that name, the benefits won't be as good as what we can offer, so.
There's that, and they're not doing HVAC the entire time either, so
No.
they're not using that skill
No.
the whole time, sometimes they're gonna be cleaning up dead animals and scooping snow and so forth, so.
That is correct.